So 98K BTC, is this the start of the move? Is this the start of the next Trump pump? We've had bullish CPI news come out today. Things are looking banging out there on some of these altcoins. We got so much to cover. I've got guests for you. I've got so much going down today, guys. Let's get right into it. And remember, guys, as always, hit that like, hit the bell, hit the subscribe. I come to you every single day on Banter Plus, sometimes even on a Sunday. You are going to see me here dropping all these types of content. Now, today it's a banger day. It's an alpha-packed show. I've got so much going on. Look at the amount of people sitting in the back here bringing some action. This is our special secret guest here. You guys, you recognize this man by now. And then I've got my gun. I've got my gun here from Chart Hackers. We brought him in. He's bringing a, maybe it's a short, maybe it's a long, but he's bringing you something. So make sure you're hitting those likes, you're doing the correct things, and he is here to serve you guys. Okay, let's go. Banter Bubbles looking, let's say, a little bit green. I mean, this is pretty pleasant here for us, and I'm running a poll at the moment. I gave you guys so many bangers yesterday, and I wanted to know which ones you guys actually got. And I see Mr. Invalidated. Well, I hope you got some handbags, because we got a couple of handbags. XRP served me well, and I closed my long at the top. James, you concurred with that level, and it subsequently popped a little bit higher. But I've got the handbag, I banked the handbag, and today I'm going to give you a new XRP entry that we can look for. So overall, Banter Bubbles, look, it's looking beautiful. We've seen that ETH pump. And look at Lido there, 16% up. And then as we know, Virtual, I gave you that long yesterday. That thing is now 27% up today. These AI agents, they are not going anywhere. I'm covering about 4 or 5 of these things today for you guys as well. Look at Fartcoin. I gave you that setup yesterday there, 9%. At the moment, let's see who is responding here in the chats. 59% took Virtual. So you guys are loving the AI agents. Aave, 18%. Guys, come on. Why aren't you trading Aave and Fartcoin? Weren't you patient enough to get that Fartcoin? Remember, that only happened a couple of hours later. It actually only happened today, that Fartcoin. So it probably took about 15 hours to give us the setup. Remember the rules here, guys, on these on my show. Sometimes there are live setups, but most of the time you have to be patient. You got to watch the levels that I'm giving you, and you got to strike when they hit those hot zones. That is what it's all about. And Fartcoin was one of them that I gave you guys yesterday. Adrian says top altcoin shorts. What's he going on about here? And let's see if we can give him some action. So let's jump straight into what is going on here in the market. It is Bitcoin, and it's all about Bitcoin today. Obviously, you know, some of these alts are cooking, and a very good question. Laudable Crab says, when should we take profit? Well, to tell you something, Bitcoin is now at its first major resistance band. You can see we are pinging directly off the 786 at the moment to the upside. So this was one of our hot zones, and we're not getting too smart here. We pulled the 786 fib from the highs to the lows. You can see it's tied in with some nice horizontal levels as well. So we understand that 99,800 is in fact a resistance zone at the moment for us. But does this mean we need to be bearish? Well, after that CPI news, I would think we don't need to be bearish, because the next catalyst for me is a run into the Trump pump, which we are expecting on Monday with the inauguration. I see Shakespeare's pipe is talking about the Trump pump. Now we know how bullish Trump has been on crypto. So I am looking for some greenery over the next couple of days, maybe a sell-off on the day or just before the day when he does get inaugurated. So that is the game plan. But you can see right now, major resistance zone for us. If we are going to reject here, this is the 99,800. We'll call it 100K. If we do get a second bite here, look for that reversal to the upside. And then we're going to pay attention to some hot zones here. 97,500. That for me is a bounce zone of interest. Then a little bit lower down, I've got tie in here, horizontals, 382, VWAP. It's just looking like an absolute banger there at 95,700. So if we're going to remain bullish, I typically want to see one or either one of these zones hold for us, and then we want to see some more upside and perhaps take out that 102,500 level. Now, if we do go straight up for one more pump, I just want to warn you guys again, exercise a little bit of caution. If Bitcoin pops into that type of zone, you're going to see some of these alts are going to be extremely overcooked. and especially if this happens in a straight line now and goes into that zone first. So just be careful up there. That is where we can get some kind of rejection on BTC. So 102,500 is the upside play. And Master Shu says, man, I missed the show yesterday. Work. Guys, don't let work get in the way of your degen trading. I mean, come on. This is what we're here for. I mean, how ridiculous that work can get in the way. Okay, so this is my current situation. I've actually sat in that short that I opened yesterday, and I've been adding to this Bitcoin short. Now, this is the luxury of getting a banger long entry on some of your altcoins. Look at this ETH trade now. That is now $7,100 up. It has given me the freedom to start preparing a head short on BTC. My bias is obviously BTC remains bullish. So if we do get a pullback, it's a bullish pullback, but that affords me the opportunity to load up a short here. If we do get that reversal, I do have cover, and then naturally expecting that current ETH long not to round trip me, but if it does start pushing lower, I'm going to print a nice Bitcoin short. It allows me affords me the opportunity to add to the ETH long. You can see my average entry now on ETH is 3,064 at the moment. So it will allow me to add to this position. So if we do get a rejection and a little dip here, we're going to add to ETH on the way down, and then we will be looking for a higher move. Right now, I'm watching 3,499. You can see that is my TP zone for ETH at the moment, and I'm trading this on Prime XBT at the moment. So again, just a head short play on Bitcoin. You can see why I've done that, why it's an interesting zone. Now, let's get into some of the fun. And this is now the next step. It was phase one, get through PPI. I mean, that market was getting absolutely rinsed over the last couple of days. PPI basically came and saved us, along with Trump's news late. When was it? Late on Monday, or was late on Sunday? That bullish Trump news that came out about his crypto moves on the day of inauguration. Now, Lark Davis is telling us 6 more days left. So we've nailed PPI. We've now got through CPI as well. And now it should be plain sailing into the inauguration. I just want to warn you guys, if we do pump hard into this inauguration, just, make sure you're taking some profits. I'm going to be looking for shorts if we pump straight into that move. Now, today it was all about CPI, and we had pretty much estimated for regular CPI 2.9%, and then core came in at a beat 3.2%, and the market obviously absolutely loving that. And here is a short story based on what happened today. So short 100x, liquidated. Okay, so a lot of my head shorts that I had earlier today, I mean, they got invalidated, but fuck me, it's green. We are ripping. It's all good. And that is the name of the game. So you can see what's happened here to the S&P 500. Nice move, nice gap up here on that S&P 500. Look at that beautiful gap there. And what is it rejecting off? The 50-day MA. What I want to point out here for you guys is we've got bullish divergence in play on the S&P 500. That is looking interesting. It's looking like this could be a real move in play for us. So you can see we do have this channel at the moment, and this could be a real move that sends this thing back to all-time highs. So we're going to watch this divergence. If we start losing that, then it might be a different story. We might have a big dip before we send it higher. But right now, that bullish divergence looking pretty good. What is PPI? What is PPI? Oh, PPI. He likes the South African accent. That's guys, come on. PPI. Okay, so S&P looking good. Okay, 50-day MA rejection, and I'm actually still in that S&P long on Prime XBT. Look, here it is here, and we're going to click on that S&P long that I took the other day, and that was literally off that gap fill. So remember, on Prime XBT, you can trade gold, oil, silver, and the S&P, obviously, as well as crypto. So we go back to my crypto account here. You can see they are 2 separate platforms, so it's quite nice. They are separated from each other. You can keep them apart, and that is a little bit of fun and games there on Prime XBT. There is a link in the description for you guys if you want to take a look. Now let's look at BTC on the higher time frame, and just like we saw on the S&P. Now, a couple of days ago, we had the S&P losing major support in a head and shoulders formation. Then we had Bitcoin follow and get bought up pretty quickly, and now we have pumped into a resistance zone, just as we have seen the S&P pumping into a resistance zone here, the 50-day MA. We can see they're looking very similar. They're tracking similarly today. And then look at this, lo and behold, can you believe this? Bullish divergence forming on the daily as well. So that is a nice sign for us here leading into the Trump situation. It's just a little bit of bull source. Now, we have been looking at this bearish setup for a very long time. And once again, I want to warn you guys, this is resistance. this is a danger area for us. This is a danger area for us. Both of these zones could reject you. Anything up to 102,500, that is danger. Even if they send us back to these highs, we are in danger still of a little bit more downside. And I do not like the look of that wick. I would like that wick to get filled at some point, not the whole thing, but maybe, just a little tester there. And I suspect, again, this is only my opinion, but if we do pump into the Trump inauguration, I would expect some kind of hard or quick sell-off on Bitcoin, and then we'll get some more bullish entries and start riding that later. I'd like to hear some other views. Let's see. Concur or unconcur?
Concur.
You
Strong
concur?
and long. Strong.
Okay, strong and long. Okay, concur or unconcur?
Straight to zero with Bitcoin. Let's go.
Straight to zero. Straight to zero.
Up only from here.
Up only. Okay, so no luck.
Till
No
Sunday.
luck. 10% dip until Sunday.
Till Sunday. I think, we definitely get a pullback there, sell the news events and everything, and then hopefully continuation. But nice.
A green weekend would be pleasing. It will match that green.
Notice the
bullish
green shirt and the smiling.
I mean, he's got elf on you. I mean, okay, David. What are we doing?
I think Saturday morning, well, my time, I think we'll have a little bit of red just to trap some shorts. And I think Sunday is going to be super green. And then Monday, I think we're going to dump a little bit.
Okay, guys, you heard that. Saturday morning, a little bit red, okay, then some pumpage, okay. Listen to the gun over here. This man's won Bybit competitions. He knows what he's talking about, okay. Listen to him, okay. You heard the man. Okay, let's go. Let's talk what's next. Now, guys, if you want to trade, using things like, well, I mean, you obviously watch me. So if you want to trade like me and you want to do these types of things that I do, I just want to remind you, this is going to be the second masterclass of my accelerator school. This is 10 days trading school. It's going to accelerate your trading from 0 to 100. If you even know just the slightest bit about charting, you can do this course. It's going to really empower you. It's going to send you to next level. You've seen Dave charts a hell of a lot like me as well. You want to chart like us and you want to chart like a lot of the members and hackers. Well, this is how you do it. Okay, you're going to take advantage of the school, and the masterclass is coming at the end of Jan, and super excited about this. And I've got the man here. Now, I want to tell you who this man is. He's one of our members in Chart Hackers. Okay, now I don't even know the man's name. This is the beauty of these things, but he likes to go by the name Defined Bicep. So I'm guessing this guy's got some serious guns. But welcome, sir. And you've done the accelerator school, and you're sitting in Hackers. Tell us a little bit about the school experience, and maybe a little bit of what's going on in Hackers for you.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I did the school. It was pretty easy to understand. That's the most important thing, because when I see you chart live and show things, there's so many things going on, and to understand every single bit, it's very hard. And the beautiful thing is you got 10 lessons, and in those 10 lessons, you explain everything from ranges to VWAPs to how to use a Fibonacci. I'm loving it. It was a great school.
So simplifying, look, the whole point, the whole thing I try to do was make it simple for you guys. A lot of people, they come into trading and they terrified because there's all these ridiculous phrases, terms getting thrown around, and all sorts of different strategies and things like that. And I try to keep it as simple as possible with a couple of indicators just to help you guys along the way. So glad that's going well. And now I've seen you've actually come up in the ranks there in Hackers. You started out quite quiet, and now, the man's trading, the man's doing things. And what is going on there for you? Are you active there all day, or do you have a side gig? What's happening there for you at the moment?
I'm trying to be active all day, but to be honest, one of our moderators is new, Trader J, also called Emu. That guy is an absolute legend, coming in with bangers all the time and just teaching everyone in the Discord how it's done. And if we continue on this path, we can make it our full-time job.
Banger, absolute banger. So guys, I mean, you heard that the Chart Hackers is not just me. It's not just Dave. It's not just Chaos. We've got a team in there of other traders. They are scalping. They are doing all sorts of things there. And the community is obviously amazing. And the community sticks together there. There's such a vibe in that place. So if you want a taste of this, and Adanath and I says, Hackers fucking rocks. Okay, yes, okay. We're not going to harp on too much longer. But guys, do the course, jump into Hackers, and you'll
check it out. So Mr. Biceps, I'm assuming he's got big biceps. I'm assuming. Am I correct?
Let Let me show a little bit of
Okay, those are pretty defined. I mean, I'd say they're a little bit bigger. They're a little bit bigger than mine. I'd say that's a good shot there. Okay, thanks for hanging. I might bring you up for your opinion just now. But we're gonna look at some of these alts now and get cracking, guys. Okay, so you know what you need to do. The link for everything is in the show description for you guys. Let's crack on. Let's talk altcoins as well. Is it time to start shifting from this bearish head and shoulders? Is it time to start shifting from a trend rejection? Well, again, we need to be patient. So this is our total 3, and as exciting as it is to get some green candles today, look what we are staring at the moment. We are looking at a typical trend rejection zone. These are daily candles. I would say just be careful. Okay, there is a possibility that we do get a rejection or some kind of sell-off in these types of zones. So this is our total 3. This is the entire crypto market excluding Bitcoin and ETH. So it measures basically all the shit coins out there. And you can see right now we are at trend resistance. So if you are trying to enter new longs in these types of areas, remember you are entering at resistance. So you stand the risk of it rejecting first before there's a bullish pump. If there is a bullish pump, we can't guarantee that if there's a pullback, it automatically pumps again and breaks trend. You know, this is major resistance. That's a head and shoulders. So we could still see that possibility. Does it happen before the inauguration? Does it happen after? That remains to be seen. All I can do is tell you guys, play the big zones, make sure you are covered, and make sure when you see altcoins hitting big areas, you are taking profits. You are looking at head shorts. When you see Bitcoin pumping into these types of resistance zones, you know, you're looking at taking profits as well, maybe some head shorts in play, those types of things. So altcoin total 3, again, at resistance. When we pop through resistance, yes, we're going to get more excited. We're going to get more bullish. Right now, caution at these types of levels. Now, let's talk dominance, and also very interesting. We got dominance still sitting at trend resistance. So what does this tell me? This tells me that if dominance pops here, that is going to be more bullish for Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin is obviously falling over, that is going to damage the altcoins. The alts are going to get absolutely rinsed. So we are at an interesting place here on dominance. And you can see this current altcoin pump that we've just had is a result of this dominance red candle pushing down. That is helping our altcoins at the moment. So what I want to say here is we've got total 3 at resistance, okay, in a danger of a rejection now, and we've got dominance sitting on a support at the moment, which is the 200-day moving average and the 50-day moving average. So just look out here, a little bit lower down here on dominance. We could see some kind of bounce on dominance at that 57.6%. So we are at quite a critical stage in the market. Now, earlier today, we weren't. That's why we got that massive pump. Now we are at a decision-making stage in the markets for us. So a little bit more news on ETH. And I mean, this ETH is a proper flip-flop. It's bullish, it's bearish. It's bullish, it's bearish. There's FUD and all sorts of things. And then next thing, everyone's buying it again. And Trump's World Liberty, they've now bought some more ETH. They bought 3,075 ETH, so $10 million worth of ETH. So things are looking pretty good from their side of things. I'm sure their portfolio is looking quite nice. And at the moment, you can see we've had a nice Ethereum pump. And just like I've explained before, my TP zone is 3,499. Why is that a TP zone for us? Look at that. It's horizontals here and some VWAP action as well. And for me, that's trend in the way as well. And that would be a nice little trade. And then we get out over there. And whatever happens after that type of push, you know, it remains to be seen. But if you did catch some of these trades with me over the last couple of days and you caught some of these lows, that's the type of area on ETH I would be careful, because that is most likely where you get some kind of major rejection if there is going to be one. So ETH for me right now, 3,499. That's a big resistance zone. And your big support, I would say anything down to 3,000. And for me, down to 3,000 will take care of a lot of this wick that I'm a little bit concerned about. So we've got the same wick situation on Bitcoin, and we've got the same on ETH. You can see that these wicks aren't healthy to be so long, and we do like them to get filled a little bit at some point. So, you know, a lot could happen here, guys. And again, we're just speculating. But if we get a pump into, say, the inauguration, it might even go higher than that. After that, if there's a sell-off, then I expect that wick to get dealt with, and then we can start carrying on. Okay, so that is my current plan here. We're going to see as we go how that plays out. Now, just another one that the Trump World Foundation owns. What do they call themselves? World Liberty. Okay, we know they own Aave. I gave you this Aave long yesterday. I've been sitting in it all day. And now sometimes you got to be patient with these trades. We had these levels in play and we sat in this thing. We waited patiently. Finally, this thing pumped. Okay, so anybody who got this, obviously the hackers guys got this trade when I set it up originally, and I did give it to you guys on the show yesterday. So what do you need to do now? We're going to pull our fibs from our lows to our highs, and we want to identify some interesting support regions. And you can see right now for us, we've got a horizontal zone, we've got the previous VWAP from the highs, and we've got our 382 sitting at the 295 to 300 region. So we know immediately that this is our first bullish support. So anybody sitting in 𝗚𝗦, right now we are at a potential resistance zone or rejection area at this 318. You can see it is rejecting at the 318 mark. If there is a bullish pullback, I would say you want this thing to hold 295. So you need to do the maths now. If you are sitting in 𝗚𝗦 and we get a pullback and your bias is bullish, then you want to see 300 hold. But there is a chance, obviously, that this thing can round trip to your entry, and then you can get, you can miss out on the handbag. So you need to make the call on how you want to play that. I do love this target, 329, 330, and I do love 350 as possible targets. But you can see 𝗚𝗦 is at resistance. At the same time, Bitcoin is sitting at resistance as well. So just understand these now are both at rejection zones or potential areas. Now, obviously, they can blow through. But again, if you wanted to take profit, that is an area of interest there for me on 𝗚𝗦 318, that type of zone, simple resistance band. Okay, so 𝗚𝗦 traders, that is that. Let's see. Guys, don't you want to fill up the poll here? 389 votes, 54% now. Took a virtual yesterday. You guys aren't giving enough love to that bio, because that bio was the #1 performer. Okay, here's bio. We're going to look at this in detail just now. Did you guys, or are you still enjoying your 170% pump that I gave you yesterday on my show? Are all 9% of you that took this? Only 9% took that thing. Congratulations on the 170% pump. Okay, so that thing is going, but we're going to talk about that one in more detail as well. Now, Eric Balkanas is talking about JP Morgan, talking about ETFs. He's saying the ETF will collect the altcoin ETF, 14 billion in flows in the first year, 3 to 6 billion for SOL, 4 to 8 billion for XRP. And he said his team hasn't made any formal predictions, but that seems like a pretty reasonable guess. Okay, so that is obviously bullish for SOL and obviously awkward XRP. I think we should give XRP this. But, it is what it is. We're going to talk about that thing. So let's cover SOL. Yesterday, we looked at this. What were we saying? We said the 8-hour oscillator still looking super bullish. So that, Stefan, I like that, bro. Oscillator looking good. Okay, still looking good. There is a little bit more upside on the 8-hour oscillator, but this was our clue. Remember, when we are seeing a pump in the market, and even our 1-hour timeframes are telling us there could be downside, if we zoom out and we look at something like the 8-hour that was turning super bullish, there were signs that it was going to be a short-term pullback, and we are most likely going to get a further pump. So here is SOL pumping through on the 8-hour. You can see there is a little bit more room here to go. So I would expect maybe one more push in SOL, but we need to identify or understand, most importantly, we are sitting at resistance now. So for me, 200 for SOL, that is a resistance zone #1. And I highlighted these for you guys yesterday. So it depends again on your strategy for your trade and what you want to do with it. But if you are in a scalp, 200 to 205 is most likely a reasonable TP zone for you. If we do get one more pump after that, I would say your next reasonable area is going to be 210 to 215. So I can't give you new SOL entries. The best entry was obviously yesterday on that trend break. Now I can only give you TP zones, or if you want to catch a hedge, and SOL isn't the best. It's not the best long and it's not the best short at the moment, but we know it's a grinder. Okay, it doesn't do too much to the upside or too much to the downside versus some of the others. But if you're looking for hedge plays and you want to cover yourself, okay, but you got a bullish bias, these are the types of things you can look at. So watch your 8-hour RSI. Obviously, you want that thing to start peaking before you start diving into any shorts. And typically, what you want to look for is some kind of divergence. You can look for that even on lower time frames. So remember, you want to see the oscillator print lower highs, and you want to see the price print higher highs. Now you can dial in on lower time frames for that, like the 1 hour, and that will give you a clue at these resistance bands. But essentially, if you're looking for cover on SOL, there's a possible short to be had from about 200 to 205, and then possibly at about 210 to 215. Those are zones of interest there where it could potentially run out of energy, and that might tie in with one final pump of Bitcoin into a resistance zone, somewhere in one of these zones, and then maybe a little pullback there. So just tie your trades in together, tie your alts in with Bitcoin, obviously, and make sure you are watching both of them. But that is effectively how I would play Sol. Now let's talk about a couple of things. Now here's XRP. Okay, I want to try and get an XRP entry. This has now broken the highs from the year, 2.9, and I closed that XRP somewhere in that region earlier today. I told the hackers why I was exiting. There was a bearish divergence on the 1 hour. We were also at a major zone. So handbag locked and loaded there on XRP, and I think we get another entry. Now, this is what's going on. AIXBT, I'm trading that one. I've got that chart for you. Griffin, I've got that chart for you, breaking all-time highs at the moment. I think this thing can start ripping. I've taken a small position because it was a little bit risky. Okay, we're going to show you guys. Then I've got the GOAT. Okay, that thing is starting to rip now. Look at that, 2,000 up. Then I've got Aero from yesterday, not the best at the moment, could be a little bit better. And I actually took that one earlier today, I think. Well, anyway, I got it. Brett, finally coming right. This thing was negative 18 or negative whatever, $20,000. It is now -2. Is this going to be the final push now for Brett for me and take me over the line? It's now $90,000 in size. And you can see I'm running another head short here just in case, just to cover me if there is a dip. Then we've got the FWOG. And I think one of our hackers traders, I think Panda traded FWOG today. And I actually just saw that in the Discord and just took it. And so that thing is going. Then Injective, that one, I think we're going to close this one live. Okay, this thing now has printed a handbag, $5,500 up. I think we're going to close that live now. Ave, that is from yesterday, guys. That's also a banger. As you know, that's at resistance. Peppy starting to do something. ETH play, remember, ETH strength. Tower, geez, I got quite a lot going on here. Tower was -$5,000 or $6,000. It's now only -$700. So I told you I had conviction on this Tower bounce. I wanted to be patient and let it play out, and obviously sweated that trade out. Didn't want to take the stop, and now we are back in action there. I traded the fart off our 382 that I gave you yesterday. H-bar scalp from the guys talking in the chats in hackers. AVAX, oh my God, I'm in too many positions, guys. This is actually offensive. We need to cut. We need to cut some of these positions urgently. Okay. I think we're gonna cut. Injective. Okay. I think we're gonna cut. Injective. Yeah. Okay. Let's go. So let's talk Injective. This is Injective posting about Mindshare, and you can see they got 1.3 million engagements now. They are coming second here. It looks like behind AIXBT. We're talking about that one as well today. So let's fire off Injective. And let's talk a couple of things. So as we know, Bitcoin is sitting at a resistance band. And, typically when Bitcoin is at resistance, when we get these types of pumps, you might find that these alts start moving into rejection zones, resistance areas as well. And they start moving into short territory, head short territory, those types of things. So that is on the table. This is a typical trend to the downside. This is our 100-day moving average acting as resistance. There's horizontal resistance in this region as well. So there's reason to argue that 23.7 to 24 is actually a take profit zone for Injective, or, essentially a short zone, a head short zone. So let's dive in here and start looking at this. Now, yesterday on the show, I said to you guys, if we get a pump out of the market, there are 3 areas where you can look to head short Injective if you are net long on everything, or if you are trading Injective. Obviously, these are the take profit areas. So I've dialed in for you guys, and I wanted to show you why this was a danger zone for me. Look at this. I've got a VWAP in this area. I've got a 618 from the highs to the lows. Okay, we know they react on these things, and I've also got the 100-day moving average, and on top of that, I've got this horizontal. Now, I bet you if we throw some of our order blocks in here as well, and from Chart Prime, let's see if we got them here. There's our order blocks. These are coming to Chart Prime very soon for you guys. So that is our order blocks. Let's see if we've got something to the upside here. Let's see if they're giving us something. No, they're not giving us anything in that zone. But you can see even on this 2-hour chart, this thing is cooked. Okay, this thing is a big resistance band. Look at that. Oscillator is moving into resistance. So it's just a sign here, just to say be careful. Okay, it's not saying the pump is over. It's not saying it can't go higher. Let's look at the oscillator on other time frames. Look at that. That 12 hour is turning up. So there is potentially some more upside. But what I want to say here to anybody, and this can be applied to all of your trading, this can be applied to all of your alt trades. Make these decisions at big zones. Make these decisions at these types of areas. You've seen me round trip live multiple times. Okay, obviously I try and take profits in some places, and then the others we try and add on and grow the size of our trades. But this is now a typical area where you would take profit. Just like I closed XRP earlier today, this is potentially a rejection zone for Injective, and it might even reject here on that lower support there. So we're going to watch. No, I see we've just popped through it. So for me, 23 to 20, call it 23.7. That is your danger zone on Injective. That's your take profit zone. If we do start pushing higher, guys, that's cool. Then we've got 25.5 as our next target. You can see that is a juicy zone, and you can see you'll probably get a nice short there. If we go there in one straight line, that is most likely going to be your exit plan. Okay, so for me, I'm going to jump out of this thing. If we hit this 23.5 or 23 today, I'm going to be out of this Injective long. Turbo in Joe. I've got Link. I had Link earlier. It's pushing into a major resistance trend as well, looking very similar to some of the other alts. So just be careful there with Link. Okay, let's go. Is Trump Jr. holding SUI? Now, obviously, we talk about SUI a lot, but is Trump Jr. holding SUI? He's given a little speech here today. He says, "My father said I'm going to have it on the balance sheet." And you can read what he has to say. But when he declined to make specific predictions about Bitcoin's future, he highlighted his own holdings, which include Bitcoin, ETH, Sol, and SUI. So Trump Jr. likes a little bit of SUI, and he's obviously telling Daddy about it as well. And maybe Daddy's going to buy some SUI in the world, in his World Liberty fund as well. So SUI also on the Turkish news. Look at this thing. It's making headlines here with Ripple, and it's going down. So let's talk SUI. And this was another trade from hackers this morning. I dropped this setup in SUI on Chart Hackers. I told the guys I was long SUI off the 618. It was a typical dip for SUI into a 618. All you do here is go from the lows to the highs, and you look for some kind of confluence here. We had some horizontal, we had 618, we had a dip into that zone, and we could see this morning we were getting a reaction on SUI, and you can dial in even on lower time frames, and you can see the reactions in those types of zones, and now we've had a pump. So I closed the SUI long earlier today, and the reason being I closed it at this resistance band. This was our 618. This was our order block from Chart Prime as well. This was our horizontal. So we knew that SUI was a rejection zone for us. So what do we do now? Well, look, simple game plan. We're going to have to wait a little bit now for an entry on SUI. So you can see simple play here, pushed into resistance, now rejecting. Okay, so nothing too smart here. Then we take our fibs from the lows to the highs. We want to start looking for where's our next bullish pullback. If we are going to get a bullish pullback, where can we get this thing? And now we're going to map it out. So keeping it super simple, we're going to pull out a VWAP from the lows as well. Where's this VWAP? Here he is. We're going to take a VWAP from that dip low. Look at that. And then we're going to start looking at reasonable bullish zones. Let's pull out the 236, which is your absolute degen zone. Now, that is your most bullish fib. And you can see that one is going to tie in with quite a lot at the moment. But remember, the 236 is a high-risk play. It's when the market is getting a hold of something and they're really trying to rip it. So SUI 4.7, I would say be extremely careful here. 4.7, that is a potential bullish zone. But for me, I must say, anything for me down to 4.6, down to that type of region there makes sense to me on SUI. So 4.62 down to, I would say, 4.58 is a possible zone there where that one can bounce for us now for any pullback. So I'm out of the SUI long that I took on Bybit, and I also took it on Bitfunded because I felt like opening another Bitfunded challenge and unloading another Bitfunded account. I'm trying to build up a massive bag of funded accounts on Bitfunded. I'm actually like, it's turned into a hobby for me. I'm loving this shit. And you can see this was the SUI trade I took this morning and opened at 12.24. And the long was at whatever my entry was off that 618. And I closed it at 4.76, okay, at the resistance band there. And you can see now I'm sitting in Bitfunded and I'm just trying to farm these funded accounts. So now I've passed phase one with that trade, one trade. on SUI. Just bang the trade out, get your profit that you need on phase one, and that thing's running intermediate now. I'm still waiting to use up the days here on Bitfunded. It's 3 out of 5 days. So I've got to trade nominal amounts. I'm talking $20 positions here just to pass the days so we can get through. So that is now past phase one. Starter one is also past phase one as well for that $10,000 account. And then the base, I'm through. We just got to finish the days, 3 out of 5 days, and then I'm going to get my funded account there, and then I'm going to get my funded account here. Okay, we just finished. Okay, so I've got a funded account now on Bitfunded. So essentially what this is, guys, is it's prop funded trading for you guys. So if you want to try something different, if you don't want to send money to exchanges and risk, high leverage and getting your accounts wiped out, you can try something like Bitfunded. So for $79 or $100, you can get a $5,000 or a $10,000 demo account. Phase one, you get 8% on your trade. Phase two, you get 5% on your trade, and then you get the funded account. Now, it can be frustrating. It takes 10 days to pass the challenge. Okay, so that is the time. It doesn't matter if you pass the trade in the first hour, you still have to trade for 5 days. So I trade $20 size each day just to get it through. You just got to make your profit target, at some point in that 5 days, and then you move on to the next one. Okay, so if you're interested in something like that, we are also doing a giveaway today. And obviously, other than the giveaway, you can grab everything that I talk about here on the show under the show description. So everything's going to be there, from hackers to the accelerator program that I'm doing, from the exchanges that I use, Prime XBT. Look at their bonuses. WEX is there. The accelerator, I'm talking about that today as well. And obviously, Bitfunded is there for you guys. So what we want to give you today is essentially the same as yesterday. Okay, so I want you guys to have a taste of hackers. Okay, so what you can do is, if you sign up to Chart Hackers, but it's got to be today, you got to sign up today on Chart Hackers, I'm going to give you a Bitfunded base account. Now, this is going to be limited to a maximum of 20 people, and we're going to see how many obviously sign up today, but I'm going to give you that base account. It's worth $79. So you're going to join Hackers, and it's essentially going to be, pretty much free, because I'm going to give you a Bitfunded account that you can then take on yourself. Okay, so all you need to do, sign up to Hackers in the chart description below. Then you're going to email. Chaos is dropping the email address there. Giveaways at Crypto Banter. There it is under the description there. Giveaways at CryptoBanter.com. He's dropping that for you. So show them that you've signed up today. This is only for new Chart Hackers members. So sign up today. Email them. Show them I signed up today, and they're going to sort out a Bitfunded base account for you guys. Come and join us. Trade on the Bitfunded account in Hackers. Come see what it's about. Take all the guys' trades. Panda, Emu. We've got Rainier as well. He's a scalper from Chart Prime. He's a savage in there at the moment doing his things. And then Chart Prime guys, Chart Hackers guys, don't worry. I've got tons of Bitfunded things I'm going to do for you guys inside. And the boys are actually coordinating at the moment some kind of giveaway. I'm waiting for them to tell me what it is. But the Chart Hackers members are getting some action. Okay, you can see they're smiling. They're working on it for you guys. Okay, so it is coming to Chart Hackers, guys. So don't feel left out. I mean, it's a vibe. Okay, let's go. Let's talk XRP. We have to talk XRP. And James is so smug about this, but yeah, here it is. XRP doing more spot volume than Bitcoin on Coinbase at the moment. Okay, and Nebraska Goona loving this. Remember when XRP market cap flipped Bitcoin in 2018? I mean, I actually remember this. Do you remember this? Chaos. It was unreal. Where's he? There he is.
I remember this. Yeah.
I mean, everyone felt like, wow, this thing called crypto is amazing. It was like,
you know how many people bought the top as well. Just
my god!
At least we're above that now. Yeah.
Dave, do you remember this, bro? You muted. Wait, unmute you.
Yes. Sorry. I remember that. I was that's when I was new into crypto, and everyone was telling me that XRP is going to go to $10.
Yeah. Or what? We drank the Kool-Aid. Eh?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But maybe it comes back. Let's look at the XRP chart. Dave's working on some stuff for us. He's got. You want to let out the token yet? Or how's our likes looking there? Mr. Smilings? Hang on.
Mr. Smilings. Let's check and refresh here.
Are we cooking? Okay, you must tell us we got enough likes, and we're going to sort Dave out. Now, let's talk XRP. So, I mean, look, for the XRP community, guys, congratulations. You've broken the 2.9 highs. We've now popped through. Okay, now it's time it's time to look for bullish entries. If this thing's going to remain bullish, XRP needs to behave. And typically when you break some kind of massive horizontal like this, you like to see it hold no worse than that 382. And then we stay relatively bullish. So for me, if you want to have a dip at this, and I'm certainly going to have a dip at this, if we get XRP a little bit lower down, you can see we are retesting that horizontal. So you can sniff around this area, but be prepared. If it does start dipping lower, just be ready later on. Be ready for a possible move here. It's a now 6% dip is a possibility here. If it's going to stay bullish, for me, it can still dip 6% to 2.76. And that would be an area of interest for me if we are going to get some kind of pump. So there's a couple of bearish things at the moment. We just need to note we do have bearish divergence on the 4 hour. But again, it doesn't mean it has to play out immediately. You can still get a situation where this thing pumps another 10 or 15%. So look out for that. Obviously, that is a little bit sad at the moment, and that is why I closed the long. But I'm going to look at building a new XRP position. Remember, when you're building these positions, you don't have to start massive size. You can start a little small size in an area. Then as you start breaking new zones or new levels, you can start adding to the trade. You can grow the size of your position as you go. So you can take on a little bit of risk on some of these hot zones. And then as it starts bouncing, you can start adding to your trade. So there's multiple ways that you can do it. And $10 in 2025, I mean, that's quite a big commitment there.
Yeah.
Quite a big commitment. Okay, so XRP Degens, XRP Community, and James. 2.76 for you, sir. Looks like the bullish zone. And then lower down. Now, again, we don't know what size pullback we can get, but we can guesstimate. But if we do go lower down, I would say, guys, your next big one is 2.6. So that does look quite interesting to me. Look at that. Nice horizontals here, 2.6 tied in with a little 618 foot pull. So that could be worth it as well, 2.6. So look out for that area. And if you do bounce on that type of zone, you'll probably get, you'll get a decent move here. You'll get 11, 12% pump. But then you're going to have this conversation again at these highs. You're going to be talking to yourself saying, is this thing now going to reject and go back to hell? Or are we taking profits? But we'll deal with that when we get there. Okay, so that is that on XRP. Let's talk a couple of tech things. Dave, what do you got? You got a meme coin for us, right?
Yeah, I've got a meme, and I've got two other setups. I've got a potential short here just to look out for, and a long that hasn't really took off yet. So
okay, I'm gonna cover virtuals quickly, and then we're gonna talk to Dave, and then we're gonna catch a few. Don't tell me ENA is pumping. Is Kareem talking about? This will be offensive to me. Okay. Crypto AI agent market is a two-horse race. They're getting built on Sol. They're getting built on Base. Okay, I mean, I think we know that. Again, obviously helping the Solana situation. This is virtual from yesterday, guys. I'm so glad 54% of you, 55%, got virtual. Guys, it's also very important for me that you take these trades, or at least let me know that you are getting involved in some of these setups. Sometimes I'm not even sure you guys are paying attention. So I'm very happy to hear that 55% of you got virtual yesterday, and it's far exceeded expectations. It's now blown through this big horizontal that I was concerned about yesterday. We've now popped through that zone. But the good news is, okay, AI agents, it's basically, what is it? Meme coins with utility. Okay, it's actually got a function. So they'll come with a stupid name like Fartcoin or whatever. And but this thing is a trained AI agent, dropping alpha, doing all sorts of things, or whatever it does. And right now, these things are it's the latest craze. So memes are out, and it's all AI agents, as you know. And what we're watching here is virtual. Now you can make AI agents on virtual. It's a platform, from what I understand. And you can see we've broken quite a critical zone here for me. So keeping it as simple as possible now. This is one of the trades I want to try and hold open. So I'm going to take the bet here that virtual is going to continue moving. So a bullish pullback, but continue moving. So I don't want to close this trade. Like I closed SUI earlier, I closed XRP. This one I'm going to try and leave open. So my strategy at the moment is to hunt for some kind of higher level on virtual, so we can just identify some targets for us. And the most obvious zone for me, 4.1, and then we're looking at 4.5, and we're looking at 5.1. Okay, so those are the obvious upside targets. But how do we deal with that now? If you are sitting in the virtual trade, you are pumped. Okay, this thing is ripping. So your option is take profit. Your option is raise your stops to entry. Your option is try and grow the trade. So ideally, what I'd like to do is buy any more pullbacks on virtual and start growing the size. I'm going to show you that trade in a minute, and the bias is that we get a bullish pullback. So for me, the big support that you're going to be watching today has got to be 3.2. So I would say 3.2 is going to be your 382 fib and horizontals. So that makes sense to me, 3.2. And then I do have a banger, 618. But the market's going to be absolutely wrecked if we start hitting virtual at 2.82. Now, we do know we've got VWAP support here. We've got horizontal. We've got 618. So we know factually that this is going to be a reaction zone for us, but we might then be bearish. Okay, so we might be in a bearish mindset. If we're bouncing off that 618, we might be looking for a 15% move off that 618 if it does go there. If we hold this 382, I'd love to see a little tap into that zone and then start attacking some of these higher levels to the upside. And, you know, typically maybe another 30%, maybe another 50% is on the table. So it's something I want to take the bet on. So that is why I'm going to leave this open on WeX. You can see I started this thing small yesterday. When I opened this thing, I added a tiny bit today. So it's only a $7,800. Now compare that to like Brett. I'm $90,000 long in Brett and Injective or whatever that is. And a small position, like I explained yesterday, small position, big move. And I took a small position on virtual knowing that this thing can maybe give us a big move. And now it's printed. We're not quite at handbag levels, but it's $1,800 up for a simple little breakout trade that we took yesterday. Okay, so I'm going to leave that one. If we do get pullbacks, I am going to start adding to that. And I've got good news for everybody sitting here because I'm going to need your help. And everybody sitting here. There's a new WeX competition, trading competition starting tomorrow. Okay? And we're going to take part in this thing, and hopefully the audience and all of Hackers is going to take part in this thing. So I hope you boys are ready. And if the market stays nice and green here, we could cause some damage. So it's going to be fun. And that is now starting tomorrow. So let me just tell you a little bit about that competition. And then we're going to bring Dave on. So you've got how many hours? 8 hours left. The competition goes live. Now, the interesting thing is I'm going to leave these positions open. So if the competition goes live, and the market gets rinsed, the P&L is not going to be great. But I'm going to bank on the fact that I want to buy any pullbacks here with virtual and Ondo. Okay, now we know we got an Ondo unlock, so we might have to deal with that slightly differently. But pullbacks on virtual, I'm going to buy. Pullbacks on WIF, I'm going to buy. And we're going to see if we can get a bullish pullback here and start sending these tokens. Okay, so I'm going to leave those running for this comp that is starting in 8 hours. So guys, go to the link in the description. The prize pool is 10 ETH. Okay, 10 ETH prize pool, and this is an exclusive banter trading competition. Remember, WeX is no KYC. There's a no KYC exchange. You just go to the link there in the description, and you can sign up there for us and take part in the competition. Obviously, if you already have a WeX account, you just sign up for the comp, and then you get cracking on that thing. Hackers will obviously fill you guys in. And there's no KYC, Adam, no KYC. Some areas you might need a VPN to operate it, obviously. But yeah, other than that, easy game on WeX for us. So that is happening soon. And all the boys are going to be on it, and girls. We do have a ladies community in Hackers as well. Now, before I carry on, before we do other AI agents, let's talk Dave. What have you got here? What are we looking at, bro? You muted again.
Let me know if you guys can see my screen here.
There it is. Yeah. Oh, okay. This looks fun.
Okay, so every Tuesdays and Thursdays I run sessions in the Chart Hackers, and we have an amazing community. I had somebody ask me to chart this, and at the time, I usually default at the 4-hour time frame. I was like, man, we need some data here. But essentially, this is a meme coin that just launched on Coinbase. It's a base layer 2 named after Brian Armstrong's cat, the CEO of Coinbase. So, I woke up in the middle of the night. It was like negative 20%. Then I woke up, not too long ago, and it was like up 15%. So this guy is very volatile, right? So how can we maximize on this? What am I seeing? On the session, I had pulled a fib from the low to the high, and you can see that we had this hacker zone reaction, right? So when we come into a 618 region, typically it's a reaction zone, and that's exactly what we had. And now I'm tracking this kind of momentum line here that's forming, right? So let me kind of dial in here on the 15-minute time frame. So there is some kind of momentum line forming. There's some hype around this. obviously, and I think there's another massive green candle coming. Okay, so typically the 1618 is, you know, a way to see where this will go in price discovery. So essentially, I've taken a fib from the high here to the low where we had that 618 reaction, and the 1618 is giving us a target of 0.00052, and you can see I have an alert set here. So I'm kind of looking for a potential short up here, but you know, I really want to kind of catch this guy, and obviously you got to be careful because, you know, negative 15% plus 20%, like even at 3 or 4x leverage, you can get completely destroyed. So, you know, for those of you guys that are degens that want to hop on the train here, you can see I have an alert set kind of in this region. I've taken a fib from this low here. So, you know, I don't, you know, on the 15-minute candle here, you can see that the low is like right here on this trend line to the current high. And then we have a 618 hacker zone kind of touching the trend line, right? So I'm kind of aiming for some kind of red wick to kind of tap this region here. And I'm looking for this trend line to hold. And, you know, I don't know how the song and dance will go, whether we kind of chop up here a bit and do this and come up, but this could be a serious swing here. And I would say this is like super degen trade setup here. So even for spot, okay, for those of you guys that don't want to trade this, even for spot, I feel like this could go to, you know, 60-70% move and sell it, and, you know, wait for it to come down to the trend line again, rebuy back in. I mean, you can obviously
So just to be clear, what is the buy zone? What is the entry number for the guys and the ghouls?
So I'm thinking maybe ladder into kind of this zone here, right? And this would be between 0.002 to like 0.003, right? And this is kind of a big gap, right? This is like a 5% window, if you will. And I'd expect with this bullish sentiment for Toshi to kind of hold here, right? And maybe, again, it just listed on Coinbase, right? And this is based on the founder's cat of Coinbase. And so maybe we're looking for higher targets. I'm not sure.
Look, second round of a bullish market, founder's cat. We've seen Toshi's had interest before. If you look at the chart on like Deck Screener, you know this thing can rip. You know what this thing can do. And it makes sense, okay? It makes sense that Toshi can do a couple of things for us. Yeah, I think that's a banger. And we know AI agents obviously are a thing, but we know these memes, they'll have their time in the sun again. So don't panic. I see you guys are talking about Popcat is ripping. I'm happy Popcat is ripping. I think I gave you guys those entries on Monday on Popcat and Whiff. So nice to see that those are ripping as well. Okay, banger, Dave. You're going to bring us a short setup as well in a couple of minutes, I'm guessing.
Yes, I've got a short setup, and then I've got a potential long here if we do have time, or if we have enough likes.
Give us the short. Give us the short now, because I've got so much. I've got so many charts to get through. I want to give these guys as much as possible. I want to cram it in. So, guys, as always, you need a hedge play. If the market's ripping, why not have a hedge short? So here's the man. He's the king of shorts, actually. Cool.
Yeah. So on Sunday, Dylan and I run a tag team session before the markets open. Probably my favorite session. And one of the things that I do is I spend a few hours just kind of diving through all the tokens on my watch list. Obviously, it's quite a bit here. But one of the things that stood out was this token called Grass. And we found bullish divergences on all the higher time frames, which is kind of high conviction trades. And sure enough, on that Monday sell-off, I was talking about that we have this 618 hacker zone as a reaction area. My alert went off. And for those of you guys that took the trade, this thing had an amazing 27% recovery. Okay, so this was the long setup. It's already played out, but now I'm looking at this as a potential short. So you can see that market is green. Grass is not really growing, right? It's kind of just chilling, and we're banging right into a 50-day MA. And also I'm paying attention to this trend line here. Okay, so just like how we look at longs, we look at the same thing when it comes to shorts. Like if this was a long setup all day, every day, I'd tell you guys, let's long the 50-day MA, look at the 618 here, trend line, okay? But now we're kind of just reversing this as a potential short. So I am expecting some green throughout the next couple days here, and maybe Grass will kind of pump with it, right? It'll follow the market a little bit. Obviously, it's not doing too much with Bitcoin being up 2.5%, but I'm feeling like this is a short zone territory. And I'm simply looking for it to just come back down to either this point of control or we can simply take a fib here, take it from the top or from the bottom to the top, and then maybe we'll get this 618 right at 250 or something like that. So decent little hedge play here, you know, looking at a 13% move potentially. And then you can already see the clues. What are the clues? Chart Prime. I love Chart Prime because it shows us not only bullish and bearish divergences, but they show us hidden bullish and bearish divergences. And so you can see here that it is screaming hidden bearish divergences, and the price action is kind of just sitting at the same spot, right? So I like that, and I'm going to be paying attention to the 2 hour and the 4 hour as those start to print. I would say this trade setup should come into fruition. Okay, so this is a decent hedge setup. Obviously, when things are so green, you know, catching along, it's kind of, you know, you're kind of late to the party, right? But when things are so green, that's kind of where you try to look for the shorts, and vice versa, right? If things are super bloody, which is what we did on Monday, right? We were talking all these setups. We were looking for longs, right? So that's kind of how we do things here at the Chart Hackers, and we'll see how this one goes.
Nice, bro. Looks like an absolute banger. Yeah, all I can suggest what Dave was saying there, look for that fake out above. So look for a little fake wick through that 50-day, through that hacker zone to the upside. Don't be scared if they try and pump it through there. Understand the games of the market makers. The signs are there on some of that stuff. So yeah, just look out for that as a possible there. But nice hedge play then for you guys. If you guys are net long, you balls deep long in everything, maybe it makes sense to have a hedge play. That's all we want to suggest. Okay, let's talk AI-XBT. And he says, massive spike in market cap and mind share for AI-XBT. This is Nick Garcia. And he said today only 250 people have access to the terminal, which is 0.16% of AI-XBT holders. Anyway, bullish. That's what it sounds like. And obviously, this thing is super topical. So here's this AI-XBT, and I was in quite a risky AI-XBT position today. There it is, a small position, $7,500, but you can see this thing is now 8% up, give or take, and it's starting to fire. So what I want to do for you guys again is just, you know, I want to highlight these AI agents. If the market's going to turn proper bullish and really retail is going to come back, well, then we need to be looking at the AI agents properly. And we need to be looking, obviously, at some of our favorite meme coins. So AI-XBT, big break of the highs. You can see these highs on the 2nd of Jan. We've now taken them. And what you want to track really is any bullish pullbacks here. So there's a couple of levels here that you want to be watching. Something like that, okay, is going to be your first big area of interest there. So 666, I would say watch 666. And then lower down, you're watching 625. So both of those, or this whole area in general, looks like a nice zone. Now, this thing, super volatile, obviously. So if you do get that opportunity for the pullback, don't ape in on high leverage. You want to go a small position, big move. Like I've explained with virtual, remember, these things can offer massive moves and quite a low risk for you guys. It's low risk to start. You're going to go low leverage, small position. When it starts ripping, then you add, okay? Then you get the size. That's when you print the handbag. So be patient. Don't be too aggressive on those entries. But the safest zone I can give you, 666 and 625. Those are the safest areas that I can give you there. Then let's talk Altcoin. I gave you guys the setup yesterday, and a little bit upset that only 19% of you had the patience to grab it. Okay, so hopefully lessons learned here, guys. When I give you these setups, sometimes you got to wait 24 hours. Sometimes they take even longer than that, 48 hours. Just mark the charts on your charts, copy them, obviously watch the show, and Chart Hackers, all these charts go into the Chart Hackers directly after the show anyway. So I'm going to copy and paste them for you guys as we go offline. We're going to drop them there for you. Stefan, what's going on there, bro? He's immediately 50x long. I don't know about that, bro. So Altcoin, here we go. 2 hour. What did I give you yesterday? This 382 and VWAP came into play for us, 996. Okay, that was a nice little banger region for us on Altcoin. Nice little move there. And then upside play. Look, it dropped a little bit early. That's a little bit of a concern for me here. I did want to see 125. That was really the zone of interest for me. Those types of horizontals there, 125 is what I'm going to be watching there to the upside. And then lower down, look, the best support I can give you is going to be this 99. So what you need to do is just make sure you are not in massive size, massively high leverage. This Altcoin is incredibly volatile, but it can print you some decent sized moves. I mean, look at that today, 25% pump today. You don't need massive size to get a 25% pump. Okay, so another AI agent you want to pay attention to right now for me, call it 1. Is going to be your support that you're going to be watching, that you want to see hold. So we need a couple of things to happen. And if this market's going to stay bullish, number one is you want to see Bitcoin start breaking these types of levels, start pushing higher, and then you're going to see these alts start holding. They're going to start holding these areas and start popping through a couple of others. So you really just want eyes on Bitcoin here as well, and also your bullish bias. You don't have to have the bullish bias. You can fade everything we're doing at the moment, but just take advantage of the short zones then that I'm giving you. It doesn't necessarily mean we're going to get the bullish pullback, but that is my bias at the moment. So head shorts, looking for a bullish pullback for us later on. That is why I'm going to hunt those 382s and those 618s. Griffin, I've spoken to you guys about this Griffin token not too long ago. I just want to do an update. And Kitty saying it's the most obvious AI play by a mile. Solana back dev is constantly promoting on stream, ships updates every day. It's also a product that can change crypto forever. Okay, people are interested in that, and breaking some highs. So yes, we need to start paying attention. We've broken the highs on this Griffin, and we did speak about this one not too long ago. It must have been early Jan before they came and tried to end us. So here we are again, solid buy. If you are now pushing through here, we are looking at price discovery for this thing. Where can this go? Simple thing. You take your fib from the high to the low, and you bang out your 1618 fib. Look for that guy. Where is it? Not that one. Wait, there it is. And that is how you look for your price discovery target. So 0.68 for me looks like a target here for us, just taking a simple high to the low fib pool. So 0.68 looks like a possible target. Support you want to watch. And again, we don't know when this thing is going to reject, so we need to be patient, but you're going to pull your fib from the low to wherever it rejects, and then you're going to look for that bullish 382 pullback. And at the moment, if it rejects here, your most obvious buy zone for me, if you miss this opportunity, is going to be 464 as your safest buy zone here that is still bullish. So 464 for now. As this thing moves higher, you're just going to raise your fib higher, and you're going to track that 382 pullback that you're going to be watching. Guys, quickly, I'm going to jump through this now. Cookie. Another one that you want to pay attention to. We've got Franklin Templeton writing reports on this thing. Okay, so Cookie DAO, pay attention. Run was talking about it on his show. If you want to watch what he had to say the other day, this was on, when did they post this? On January the 13th on the Crypto Banter Twitter. You can follow what Run was saying there about Cookie if you want to learn a bit about it. And right now you can see it's pretty stagnant considering what it's doing, but I believe this thing will start getting traction and getting some interest. So this Cookie is an 8-hour chart that we're watching at the moment. You can see right now just busy with a range play here, something like that. And I would say once we start cracking 67 or 68, then things get super spicy, because I do expect that to get taken out at some point with any pumpage here in the market. So looking for potentially bigger things. Right now, this target is 68, and your main support on Cookie is 39. So it's a hell of a broad thing. This is more of a spot situation. If you back the AI agent narrative, you're backing the bull market, then maybe this is something you want to start paying attention to. Okay, running out of time here. Okay, so bio, guys, just wanted to update. What a banger. Okay, what an absolute banger. I really hope you guys, take some profits along the way, obviously, like I said yesterday, and you can leave the rest for a moon bag. Okay, this thing could have a long way to go. Okay, right now it's only a $10 million market cap. So let it do its thing. And then, guys, I haven't got time to get into this, but I wanted to cover Musket. And I'll talk about this one a little bit more tomorrow. There is possibly some news on this Musket. The Musk meme coin in final negotiations with the Musk Institute. It involves Musk's dad, 𝗟𝗑𝗟𝗟𝗪. This thing was taken to hackers by the Boopster at about a $7 million market cap. He's our small cap gem expert in chart hackers. He gave it to the hackers at $7 million market cap. It's now 23. There is some alpha on this potentially here. So watch the news, follow the news, watch this Musket. Okay, keep your eyes on that one. And then an update on Goku. Again, absolute solid banger play. Look at how this thing holds its levels here. Every time we get these dips into these zones, Goku traders, 0.01, 0.112, those types of levels you can see. Nice horizontals. And when we do start breaking trends on Goku, there is some action. So just look out for those types of moves here. Still backing this Goku as a nice play. And then there's a new kid on the block for trading meme coins. Now, the shortest way to explain this thing is obviously this is now a platform you connect your wallet and you can trade meme coins, but it's way more than this, because you can follow people that call trades, and you can automatically buy using this thing. So you can click on scanner, for example, and it gives you, and you click on channels, and you can now look at these pre-farm channels here, and you can start following the channels that this thing spits out for you. Now it's not loading these channels, but it was loading them earlier. Okay, so you can track these channels that are floating here, and there's a couple of other things. You can add your Telegram account, and if you follow accounts that call Telegram trades and things like that, and they're dropping CAs, contract addresses, this thing picks it up immediately and starts trading for you. You can preset everything you need. I actually need to refresh this browser. We've lost the chart here that was on this thing, so that is why it's not showing at the moment. But anyway, this is 𝗙𝗓𝗟𝗟𝗟𝗡, guys. So if you're in Telegram groups where guys are giving alpha, connect this to your Telegram, and it's automatically going to trade it for you. Okay, and it's the fastest bot out there, from what I understand. And 𝗙𝗓𝗟𝗟𝗟𝗡, if you want to try it, the link is in the show description. So go there. There it is. Click on the link there, 𝗙𝗓𝗟𝗟𝗟𝗡, and give it a bash. You can see how it connects to your things. Okay, super long show, Dave. Thanks for hanging. Chaos, thanks for hanging. Mr. Muscles, thanks for hanging, sir. Dave, thanks for hanging. Okay, we'll see these boys in hackers, guys. Those charts are going to go into hackers now. So the minute I close here, I'm putting those things on in hackers for you. Good hanging out. Nice to see a green market again. Remember the rules now. Take profits, good areas, potential head shorts, raising stops, and if your bias is bullish, well, you're looking for bullish pullbacks. 382,618. Make sure there's confluence. Make sure there is support or alternate confluence in those areas. Okay, guys, I'm out of here. Later.